Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For today, we are getting into how to build the farming industry in Cities Skylines. Let's get started. So the town of Tantrum has identified a plot of land out in the suburbs. And this plot of land, you can see, is very yellow. So that means there is a lot of agriculture and it is very fertile for any type of farming industry. So we have called upon, so the Tantrum Common Council has called upon John Dutton to create a ranch and the farming industry here in Tantrum. So this City Skylines farm layout, you're going to notice that there are a lot of dead ends and a lot of dead space. So anybody who's ever played City Skylines before knows that the farming industry creates a lot of traffic. So what I tried to do is with the crop fields and with the tree plantations, what I tried to do was, well, first and foremost, you need to build a main building, but by using the crop fields, the large and medium sized ones, what I tried to do was I tried to pair them off as best as possible, and pairing them off hopefully will lead to a better traffic flow and something that is not that crazy. So overall, I think the layout turns out really well. Now let's keep going with this build. So now you're going to see the detailing part behind the main house. So this is the main building for the the farming industry. And in the backyard, so this is the main part. This is the very beginning part of the farm. And so this is where the soil has, it's not as fertile as the other part of the farm. So you're going to see that, behind the house in the backyard, there's a lot of overgrown bushes, there's a lot of rocks, there's a lot of different things and big trees growing. There's a lot of different things that, are in that backyard. You can no longer use it for farming, so it's just kind of overgrown and nobody's really touched it. Then the next part of our build that you're going to notice a lot of this, we need to fill in the empty space of our farm. And so the wind turbine is honestly a perfect way to create space. And again, we're using the shrubs and stuff like that, but it fills in overall really nicely in the farming industry. And obviously it provides power for our farm. So again, a lot of the detailing is just filling in the dead space. So I put in a grain silo and a barn, and again, just more fields where, they're the older fields that, does not get much love anymore, but it just overall adds to the appeal of the farm itself, and it looks really great. So like I mentioned before, it is all about filling in the farm industry and just try to create something different to where you try to make it realistic. So right now on the screen, you could see that I'm using different hay bales and giving them its own lane. Then what I planned on doing was I try to put different shrubs over it. So this is kind of like your vanilla way of creating different farms for your farming industry. And you can tell right now I'm detailing with some fencing and stuff like that, just to try to make it a little bit more realistic. And I know that, you might not have the time to do this, but if you choose to, it's really an awesome idea. Like right now, you could see that I am built a couple different horse pastures for the Dutton Ranch. And there's a couple of the pastures that, again, they're overrun or they're just not, they're just kind of older pastures, and we moved on to newer ones. And that's kind of like the name of the game. And what we try to do for the time being is just we try to add different things. Like right now, I did try to add a horse pasture, which right here, you can see that I'm kind of building it right now and just kind of see where it goes. I have a couple different barns. So with both those barns, we just have more and more fields that we needed to fill in and filled in the dead space. Now the next attempt you're going to see is another vanilla style that I saw on YouTube, is how to create kind of the plantations, but again, you're not actually building them, you're just kind of vanilla creating them and filling them in. So what I did was I added different bushes and I added a different colored tree and I put a fence around it. Now I don't think that looks as good as the actual plantations, but you know what, it's filled in, it counts for something. So for the final part of our build, we are building the production buildings. So what these production buildings do is we have a slaughterhouse, we have a cattle shed, and we have a flour mill. And what both of these, well, I should say all three of these production buildings actually do is they help us use the resources from our crops, from our plantations, and from our cattle ranges, and essentially brings them all together to help make certain products. For example, the flour mill creates flour, and the slaughterhouse creates animal product. And as time goes on, we will create factories that will need those products in order to create better and bigger goods. So guys, thank you guys for watching this part. I'm gonna do the time lapse, so please hang tight. And welcome back, guys, from that lovely time lapse. On the right hand side of our highway, you will see the John Dutton Yellowstone Ranch, or otherwise known as the Cities Skylines farming industry. So overall, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I think everything turned out really well. So as we zoom out, you're going to see the fully detailed Cities Skylines farming industry, and each of the details that you're going to notice is we have the wind turbines, we have a lot of trees along our production area, we have everything pretty much filled in, and overall I think everything turned great. And the one last little bit of detailed area I wanted to show was across the street from our farming industry. So across the street we have our farmers market. So what I did was I created a very micro detailed farmers market area where people can come and share their goods and just kind of visit the area. And I thought this small farmers market idea was a nice cherry on top, where you have people visiting and exchanging goods on a regular basis. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you liked it, liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. It's okay. Have a great day.